So we're talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger is on the hot seat because he's doing such a shitty job as governor, and the fiscal crisis now an emergency since he supported the war and the war effort 100%, now expecting Californians to pay more, first with a trick property tax, where people already pay enough property taxes, Arnold. People pay enough taxes as it is on gas and oil, and the finding that your proposals are all of shit and of a level of worse than a 17-year-old coming up with ideas like that. I think that is the most putrid and horrendous, horrible performance of a governor ever in the history of all of California. Basically, this toll booth at the 10 freeway is definitely for $700 million. Then they blame that all the money is going to firefighters. What happens if people don't want to vote on that issue and it's a no? Does that mean the firefighters don't get paid? Number one. Also, this whole bullshit about the casinos. We're going to start off with Temecula, where Pachanga is pretty much the only business down there, and the military is very strong in that city because people, there's no work down there. It's all retail competition. So people who grow up in their houses, if the government don't take their houses from their parents within 30 years, have to go out and find jobs. Most of them go to the military. Some of them go to the casinos. But other than the casino, Temecula, there's nothing there except residential and retail competition. So what I'm noticing is a pattern. When people come home, they go right to the casinos, spending some of their money from overseas or earns or whatever, etc., etc. Then the tax over and over. Now, we're going to talk about the Indian casinos and the yeses and nos on the proposals, but what does that money have to do with helping out firefighters in other parts of the state, number one? And number two, putting in more slot machines. If people don't have the money to gamble in the first place, how are they going to get more revenues if people aren't gambling because they don't have the money? Number two.